What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I'm the Crypto Crow, and I've been working on some numbers that have been just blowing my mind. This may or may not shock you. I don't know. It won't be long until we have no Bitcoin in circulation. I mean, and I'm going to show you a whole bunch of stuff in this video that it really is. It's blowing my mind. I haven't even finished calculating everything. I don't know when like the 0 day will be because there are too many variables, but I'm definitely going to give you a lot of food for thought, and it's going to put things into perspective as to why I'm probably never going to sell my Bitcoin at this point. Altcoins and things, I'm probably going to trade with the markets as usual, but I think as it comes to Bitcoin, I think I'm just going to, I was even thinking about taking my Bitcoin and putting it into my favorite altcoin for this market cycle. But I feel more now, like, even though I'm a huge proponent of my Cardano and I feel like I can never have enough, I feel like there's long-term security at play here. And I'm not saying that Cardano isn't long-term secure, all that, but when I show you this stuff, I think you're going to understand where my head is right now and why. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. First thing, check out crowtrader.com if you're trying to improve your Bitcoin position in these markets. 1.5.1 is now available. And if you're not sure if you like bot trading, download it. You can download it and run it for free. It's about all there is to it. You can check it out. It will run in evaluation mode until you get a license, and then you can turn on your live trading. But there's so much stuff, and I'm about to open up a bunch of new strategies I want everybody to test out, and I'm going to be collecting a lot more, and I'm going to create kind of a community Dropbox, if you will. It's not Dropbox, but I'm going to be creating a community that I can drop all my strategies. And kind of an open source effort. You know, here's some strategy bases. See if you can improve on them. Let's see your work. I just want to get this community purring away. And I am running this bot right now on a Mac. For those of you that are curious, you can run the bot on PC, Mac, or even Linux. So if you're interested, check it out, download it, play with it. You don't have to buy a license just yet. Join the community, see what you can do. Now, these are some statistics for Bitcoins. How many Bitcoins are mined per hour, day, month, week, year, etc.? All right. On average, block time is 10 minutes, about 6 blocks every hour, 144 blocks a day. The block reward currently is 6.25 Bitcoin. Keep in mind that in April, this is all getting cut in half, okay? About 37.5 Bitcoin are mined per hour. In a year, 302,400 Bitcoins are mined every year right now. That is about to get cut in half to just above 150,000. Do you have any idea how dramatic this is going to be? These cuts, these every 4 year cycle cuts get more and more dramatic each time they happen. And what's interesting is right now, with the halving coming in April, we now have all of these ETFs, all of this action going with institutional investors entering the market, and they are just now starting to advertise these investment vehicles for who? Well, they're going to start running these ads for 401k folks and retirement account folks and so forth. All right. Now we're going to dive into that. This here is the total supply of Bitcoin. All right. There are 19.611 million Bitcoin in circulation today. Okay. And, you know, the total ever is only going to be 21 million. So at this point, this is kind of like the crux, right? Because these halvings are going to keep extending the time period. And, you know, ultimately, in a nutshell, when you're talking about Bitcoin being broken down into 100 million Satoshis, there could be potentially no end to these halving cycles, but they're going to mean less and less once that, you know, that 21 million mark has ultimately been met. And I think that it's supposed to be like, is it 2140 or something like that? I can't remember. 2040. I can't remember, but it's going to be a while regardless. All right. Now, once we've met that mark, then there's no more, really, there's not much going into the system by way of mining. There's still a little bit of a supply. It's going to be around 115 million or 115,000 rather every year. Still a lot, but given what I'm going to show you, it's really not much at all. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the current amount of Bitcoin being held on exchanges. This is liquid Bitcoin that can be purchased right now on exchanges. 1.884 million out of 19 million. Now, this is give or take, and this is obviously making up the biggest bulk of the exchanges out there. There are a lot of little smaller exchanges that will, maybe we could even round this up to 2 million if you want. It doesn't matter. I'll show you why, but it doesn't matter. With the 2 million currently on exchanges, this means that of all of the Bitcoin mined up, that, about 17 million are being held in cold storage and on individual wallets all over the world. And these people are not interested in selling them right now. They are holding them. And the number of people holding their Bitcoin is likely going to continue rising post-halving. Why? Because at that point, the value will be confirmed for a lot of people. Once we get beyond this halving cycle, there's basically that Bitcoin is going to be in much more demand. So at that point, we're going to reach a crux of, okay, at what value are more people willing to take their Bitcoin off of their wallets and put them on exchanges for sale? That's the question. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the ETF funds and their in and outflow of Bitcoin today. Not today, sorry. This was as of January 31st. We're already in February 2nd, okay? So this is a few days old. But what we're seeing here is we have total assets, okay? You can see this line here. This is total assets. GBTC, being first to market with any kind of Bitcoin investment vehicle, had around 500,000 Bitcoin in storage, okay, in their coffers, managed, all right? But what you're seeing right here is you're seeing GBTC's outflow of Bitcoin in red against the inflow of all of the other players in the market now. You can see GBTC's fee is 1.5% compared to all of these others, which are fractions of a percent at best, all right? So the fees are much, much lower. So we're seeing all of these funds gobble up everything GBTC has to offer and more. Because by the time all is said and done, you've got BlackRock's IBIT, their total inflow or total assets under management in Bitcoin alone right now is 64,400 Bitcoin. Keep in mind, this is accumulated over the course of just a couple weeks so far. FBTC, Fidelity, number 2 in the market with almost 52,000 Bitcoin currently under management. And it just tears down from there all the way down to BTCW with 264 Bitcoin under management. Now, this is all after GBTC has unloaded 131,500 Bitcoin. So by the time all of these other groups have accumulated while GBTC has been dumping, the difference is about 27,339 Bitcoin transacted, leaving whatever they're not able to pull off of Grayscale's GBTC, they're basically going to be pulling off of exchanges. If they're not pulling them off exchanges now, I don't know. I assume they are because they're letting GBTC keep the price down while they're accumulating at different intervals throughout the days and what have you. This is so that they don't suffer slippage, and they're, basically, I'm pretty sure they have a legal right to try and get these prices as low as they can for their customers. So otherwise, they would just do an over-the-counter deal and be done with it, right? But they're not doing that because GBT has to dump, and so that's what's at play right now. If we look, total GBTC outflow in the first 15 days is 140,195 Bitcoin. These are all being gobbled up by these other funds, all right? Now, this is the total exchange volume, okay? So this is the exchange volume of Bitcoin, and it's pretty high. It's pretty high, but this is the rising sum of the number of Bitcoin going into the market as it relates to Bitcoin's price, okay? You can see that, I know, like back in 2017, which this isn't even showing. Let's go back to all here. So back in 2017, we got that crazy pump, okay? And that was just a big market cycle. This is when I entered the crypto space, but look how much Bitcoin was available at the time. It was 16.7 million. The demand wasn't even that high. And then you see the 2021 market cycles, okay? You had these double peaks, right? And look how close it is to the line. Now, here we are before a halving, and we're already halfway here. We're already halfway to meeting the point of price to the circulating supply of Bitcoin. We're already here, and we haven't even had our halving yet. The halving down here was like, what was it, March of 2020, I think? Yeah, this was about the halving. Look at the difference, folks. Look at the difference here. So we had the halving, and then we started to run up into the first bull peak, and then we had the second. I'm curious, what would have happened if we hadn't had everything that happened in the 2020, 2021 market with the pandemic and the craziness and how that affected, even though a lot of people ask me how I called this two peak cycle on Twitter. Okay. It was like April 13th. I said the market peaked. Later that afternoon, once the plane landed, I said, don't worry, this is going to be a two peak cycle. We're going to peak now. We're going to reset. We're going to have a break, and then it's going to come back up. Everyone thought I was nuts. And people now say, how did you do that? Well, if you looked at all of this as it related to the NASDAQ charts on a daily in 2007, it matched everything identically. You could almost create a line chart, throw it on top of it, and it was the exact same thing. And I was comparing that market cycle with everything that had happened prior to and up to the peak of the market. And that's when I knew we're getting ready to peak. Well, that in conjunction with the pi cycle top that called the market peak, but the two peak market was because everything matched the NASDAQ at the same time frame in 2007. And I have all my own theories as it relates to why those matched up and what's actually happening. But this is important, okay? Now, if we look here, this is Bitcoin's ETF Tracker, and this is showing assets under management totals. Grayscale is still sitting at 20.56 billion, okay, with $256 million a day in volume, and they're pushing it out. But these numbers are falling. They're dissipating a little bit over time, okay? If you look here, this is showing where they started in their dump. I mean, you're talking, 11 and 11, 13, almost 14,000, 11,000, 14,000, 14,000. You can see these numbers every day. They're dumping this Bitcoin. But now, as we got into towards the end of January, these numbers are starting to peter out. They're starting to dump less and less. So we're meeting a focal point where Grayscale is likely going to slow down significantly from there. And then all of these other funds that are growing are going to be basically buying up directly off exchanges, and they're not going to have GBTC keeping the price lower for them. Now, we continue. I'm telling you, this gets nuts. So this is where I was going into the statistics and the data for those just in the United States. Keep this in mind. This is just in the US. Okay. And basically a total of 66.3% of United States citizens between the ages of 15 to 64 or 65 rather, have some form of IRA, 401k, or defined benefit plan. All right. So out of all of these people, ages 15 to 64. That's 66.3% of people in the United States have some sort of retirement account, all right? Who manages a lot of these retirement accounts? Well, it's your BlackRock, it's your Fidelity, it's all of these people that are opening up these Bitcoin ETF funds. Of those people, the median value for each of these accounts is roughly $30,000. If I calculate that value against the population of the United States, which as of 2022 was 335,893,238 people, estimate of 2024. Okay, so estimate of 2024. So if I take that and then I establish 66.3%, that's saying that 222,000, where did I work that up? Is that here? Yes. So this is where I worked this up. 66.3% of the total population basically left us with 222 million, let's just call it 223 million people in the US have retirement accounts. And then of that, the average value of each of their accounts is roughly 30 grand, which equates to $6.68 trillion in assets under management. Okay. So now if we go back here and we look at the assets under management in Bitcoin for these same funds, you have 6.68 trillion just in these retirement accounts for Bitcoin. You see where this is heading? So this is just in the US, folks. Just in the United States. This isn't counting every global government, every retirement account throughout the world. This is 6.68 trillion just in these retirement funds with an average of 30,000. Now, when we look at that and we say, what percentage of these retirement accounts are going to continue basically buying Bitcoin through these funds? If we look at the numbers, this is 27,300, but let's not even look at that. Where's my number? Because I worked it up somewhere, and I have all these notes because that's what I do when I'm calculating some crazy ideas. Things pop in my head and I'm like, I need to answer this question for myself, and then I'm shocked, and then I want to share it with you fine folks. But if you were to take all of this out, oh, here it is. Yes. So if we didn't have GBTC, so you're not going to be able to see this because it's in my Excel. I wonder if I can copy and paste this. Hold on, I'm going to try something here. Copy. What happens if I paste? No, it's not going to let me do that. All right, so this isn't going to let me copy and paste. You know what I can do? I'll do it this way because I want you to be able to see my Excel without me having to try and set it up in. Let's see. Yeah, it gives me an image. All right, bam. Bingo. All right, so this is my Excel sheet. This green number here is the accumulation of all of those funds. Okay, that's 160,239 Bitcoin just in a matter of a couple of weeks. All right, and those numbers are growing, and they're going to continue getting bigger and bigger, especially as the value of Bitcoin rises and people start to say, oh, wow, it's still going up. It's still going up. I want in. I want in. Once GBTC stops bleeding, which we see that's starting to slowly come to a halt, the number of Bitcoin being accumulated week after week, day after day from these funds is going to go straight to the exchanges and ultimately buy up these numbers here. If you're basically accumulating 160,000 Bitcoin a week, let's just divide this up, shall we? Let's just say we've got let's just call it 1.9 million. All right. Oops, I did this wrong. 1.9 2. All right. We're going to divide that by 160,000. All right. That is 11.87. So if these funds just stayed accumulating what they've been accumulating, once GBTC stops its bleeding, which we're getting close, all right? Let's just say this would be less than a year until these funds at the current rate, have bought up everything available on exchanges. Now, of course, as that's excuse me, of course, as that's happening, you know, the price is going to rise and there are going to be more and more people willing to sell at these increased prices. But that's not really going to start coming into significant play until post-halving, as the supply is cut in half yet again, and the number of Bitcoin continues to diminish, which is going to, and the demand, and then you're going to have all the marketing, and then you're going to have all of the paid ads talking about Bitcoin's price going up, and where do we go from here? 100K, 200K, right? We know how these markets play out. Everybody fudge the market during a bear market, because that's when all the whales are accumulating. Like, you know, I was going to say myself, I'm not really a whale. Maybe in the eyes of some, but not really. But when these whales, they're buying up, 1,000 Bitcoin at a time, so forth. Those are like whales. Or I think anything over 100 Bitcoin is a whale. I'm not a whale. So keep that in mind, because it's not going to be very long. And keep in mind too, that when these funds are increasing their marketing for these Bitcoin ETFs, and they're driving more and more of these people into the market, into Bitcoin, driving that price up more and more and more, folks. If this time period this is from the first, or from January 11th to the 30th. This is, oh my God, this is 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks. So you cut that in half, you're looking at 6 months. Within 6 months, these funds could have bought up all of the available Bitcoin on exchanges. I'm telling you, folks, it's going to get absolutely insane. And this is why I'm like, you know what? I'll hold out until it's $1 million. Because it's going to happen. And here's the thing. I'm willing to bet just about anything that when the time comes where we reach this focal point where the available supply on exchanges has been dwindled to next to nothing, yes, we're still going to get people that are like, oh, wow, Bitcoin's $100,000. I'm ready to pull it out of my wallet and sell. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes, right? They're going to be those people. But I believe that the vast majority of people that are holding today are not going to sell at those prices, because they're holding for a reason. They're going to sell little bits here and there, but it's going to get to a point where everybody that got in now, right? The people that are buying in today, the people that have been buying in and accumulating over the last several years, those people are going to use what they hold in Bitcoin to live off of as the rest of the world crumbles and the world transitions into tokenized assets through and through. And that spillover is going to flow into the top 10 crypto market cap, top 20 crypto market cap. And that is ultimately going to be based on use case and what use cases are provided to the general public that actually mean something. And I think that I'm telling you, things are going to start getting really real. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. And those of you, seriously, those of you that are watching this video right now are probably going to do insanely well over the next several years. Insanely well, because you're here, you're educated, you understand what's going on. And chances are you hold some Bitcoin. If you hold any crypto asset outside of Bitcoin, you probably have Bitcoin too. Because to have one and not the other is kind of silly, right? I always say Bitcoin is king. Altcoins are key, and that is a big deal. So listen, I hope this was good for you. Until next time, guys, crow your coins. Yes, I'm still sick, but I'll see you soon. I had to come and do this video today. Hit that like button if you don't mind. Drop your comments down below, because it really does mean a lot. It helps a lot. And I'll see you guys soon.